Hey everybody, it's Shane. So initially I was gonna do a different flight. So I was gonna fly from Auckland to San Francisco and show you that departure. So then I spawned in at Auckland and look what I saw. I literally spawned in on top of somebody else. It was an absolute madhouse. Look at this. I don't know what the heck is going on in Auckland, New Zealand today on VATSIM, but this was absolute insanity. Okay. I spawned in on top of this guy right here and I looked at the amount of aircraft that were parked here and the ones that are waiting to go. And I realized with the line of aircraft trying to go, I'd be sitting here for 2 hours trying to leave. So again, I have no idea what the heck is going on in Auckland, but it is an absolute crap show. So we're just not going to do that. That's out of control. I mean, it's even worse now than when I left. Is there an event going on here or something? I'm not aware of it. World flight non-event traffic expect major delays. I don't even know what that is. So I gave up on that. So I decided to come over here to Seoul Incheon, which is another really cool airport. And we're going to fly this aircraft back to San Francisco. Should be about an 11-hour flight across the Pacific Ocean here. So let's go ahead and what I'm going to do today on this flight, because I'm only going to show you really the departure in the first 30 minutes or so of the flight. We're going to do the full flight planning on this. So I'm going to show you guys everything that I do to go from just sitting here to getting in the air. All right. So the first thing I do is I go over to my whatever virtual airline that I'm using. And in this case, it's United. I like their website. It's pretty cool. I go down here to search flight. And basically, if I want to try to fly something in United colors, I'll type in the airport that I'm interested in. Like, so Seoul. I'll type in the aircraft that I want to fly. And I'll type in the airline. And then I'll hit find flights. In this case, there's two flights here. I've already booked one. One is flown by a 777, and one's flown by a 787. Now, the nice thing about this virtual airline is they let you substitute just about anything you want. So I could fly a 787 or a 777 in place of one another. I want to fly the 777 today. So I booked that flight, and it's in my bids. And now I just basically use this for the call sign, and this will interface with SimBrief to record the flight later on. Okay? So once I have that done, I'm going to go over here to SimBrief, and we're going to plan our flight this way. So we're going to get new flight, type in the call sign United 892. We're going to RKSI to KSFO. I'm going to select my aircraft that I want to fly, which is the United Airlines 777 configuration that I have. Okay, now it shows us a bunch of different routing options. This is a possibility, but there's a few other things we can try. And basically, I'm going to look at all these and see which one is the shortest one. So it does appear that this routing is actually the shortest. Now, it doesn't look like it is, but remember, the world is round and not flat. So this is actually shorter than going straight. Okay, it's like going over the top as opposed to going down the center. So we're going to stick with this flight plan right here, okay? Okay, all that looks good. 10 hours flight. Good, I'm going to generate the flight. There it is. Okay, then I'll go ahead and gonna pre-file this on the network because we are on VATSIM right now. Just out of Auckland because that is just an absolute madhouse. Not interested. Not today. Okay, flight plan is filed. So I'll leave SimBrief open because I do like to use the takeoff performance calculator, but we'll come back to that later. Now that I'm back in the aircraft, let's go ahead and run our initial cockpit preparation checklist. So, overhead panel, battery switch on, external power's on, IFE and cabin utility, parking brake released, indicator lights to test, make sure everything's lit up. Okay, we'll put that on bright. Fire overheat test. ADRU on. Emergency lights armed. Window heat on. No smoking. Seatbelt signs. Nav lights on. Logo light on. Actually, no. We'll turn that off for now because it's daytime. We don't need it. Wing lights not required. Flight deck lighting. I'm going to turn all these switches to the little dot. That's like the nice mid-range right there. Get this guy over here. And then this guy down here. Okay. Flight deck lighting is set. EFIS panel. Data position terrain, and VOR left and right on. This guy to plan. About range 40. Okay, weight and balance. I'm going to go over to my electronic flight bag. I'm going to click on airplane. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to go to external services, do ACARS first, and type in 892. And connect, and then over to Navigraph and get data from SimBrief. Okay, there's our flight plan that we just filed in SimBrief. It's integrated, right? Our KSI to KSFO. Now we're going to go over to airplane, weight and balance, build from SimBrief, loading page, simultaneous full load. Alright, we're loaded up. And I'm going to keep it on the weight summary here because I'm going to need some numbers here in a little bit. So the weight and balance is now set. Going to go over to the FMC. Position initialization, and we're going to copy the GPS position and drop it into the inertial reference position. Now, for the route, I don't really feel like filling in 15 pages of fixes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the co-route. And how we do that is we're going to go over to SimBrief. I'll scroll down to flight plan downloads. Go all the way down to the bottom where it says X-Plane 1112. Not this one, but the one up top. And download it. And then that is going to go into my FMS plans folder. So just drag it in here. And I'm going to copy and replace the old one. There you go. That's done. Now we're going to go to co-route. We're going to type in RKSI K KSFO01, and then I'm going to hit here. And it loads up our route. I'm also going to bring up SimBrief here and load our flight in to make sure it all matches up. Okay, so we're on the AGOB 2Y from 34 right. Okay, it looks good. So for departure, I'm going to make sure that that's in there. So we got 34 right and the AGOB 2Y. Now over to arrival, SFO, we got the Bodega 4 arrival. Let's go ahead and, we don't have to do it yet, but I like to just kind of get it preloaded. We're going to go ahead and put in ILS 28 right from final. Just to have it in there for later. Cool. Now I'm going to go over here to ILS 28 right. No transition. Now we're going to go and check all of our routes here, our pages, to make sure that the fixes look good and we have no breaks in continuity. See, there's 12 pages of fixes. It would have taken me 30 minutes to load these all in. Route looks good. So now we're going to click activate. Perfect. Now for performance, we're going to need the zero fuel weight, which we get right here. 389.9. 389.9. Put that there. Reserves, we're going to get from our flight plan. And I like to use the final reserve plus alternate, 12.4. Cruise altitude will be the initial. So in our case, that's actually 350 because we're not very heavy. Cost index is going to be 15. I didn't catch that. Steep descent after bricks. Okay, got it. Now, for step climbs, I'm going to manually put them in. So I'm going to change it from ICAO to 0. Alright. Over the thrust limit. Let's go back to sim brief now. And now we're going to go over to takeoff performance. Verify we have before right. We'll put this to disabled and click calculate. Okay. So it looks like we're good for takeoff here. Max runway limit is our max takeoff weight. And our flaps will be 5 with takeoff select temperature 47. So we'll put 47 in right here. 97.5 N1. Flaps 5. CG is going to be 26.4, so we'll just make it 26. And then these numbers are within a couple knots of what SimBrief is telling me, so I'm going to go ahead and go with these. Alright, our FMCs are now programmed, guys. We got the route in there, we got the takeoff data set. Okay, IFR clearance. I don't think we're going to get that. There's no ATC on. So, what we'll do for TCAS, we'll just squawk 2000. Radios, we're just going to be on Unicom. Fuel quantity 152.8. That seems a little bit low. Maybe it's not. I guess not. We must be really light today. Not even that light. I guess this flight is just not as long as I thought it was, so that's fine. We're going to be getting into San Francisco very, very early here. Man, maybe I should have started this one a little bit later, huh? Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate the safe flight. Maybe I should have started this flight a little bit earlier. Or a little bit later. But I'm committed now, so might as well do it. I'm going to have to get up at 3 in the morning to land this plane. Oh well. Alright, let's go ahead and continue on with the final cockpit prep. FMC is checked. Flight directors on. MCP airspeed set V2, which is 159. Heading, be the runway heading. .319. Altitude, initial altitude 350. You know, I'm thinking This thing's gonna get us in at like 4 in the morning. How much longer would it take to get to O'Hare? Just for fun. Because I don't really want to wake up at 4 in the morning to do this. Because that's what time we're going to get in. So let me just see how much further it is to get to O'Hare. Oh, it's 2 hours further. Well, let's just do that. Now that I'm thinking about it. Then I can land this thing at a reasonable hour and not dark 30. You know what I mean? Let's adjust this on the fly and see what we can come up with. Let's go schedule search. RKSI. Is there anything going from here, RKSI, to O'Hare? Well, alright, well, we'll just make up our own flight then. Free flight. RKSI. KORD. November 70019. Well, just on the fly here. Let's see how the FMC does with alternate routes. Okay, United 8170. 8170. I think this will be better. Yeah, I like this better. Okay, we're gonna do this instead. Done. Alright. So we're gonna roll back the checklist a little bit and kind of reconfigure here. Because I don't think I want to do this route now that I'm looking at what time we're going to get into San Francisco. It's just too early. So let's see if we can adjust this. There it is. New flight. Okay, we're just going to do it again. Okay. So now we're going to go down here to airplane, wait and balance, and reaccomplish this. Cool. Now we got more stuff on board. Now we'll go to the FMC and we're going to reaccomplish this stuff. So route, we're going to do RKSI, KO RD01. Invalid entry, huh? I wonder if we can clear this out. I don't think it's gonna let us. So we'll just do a second route. ASIAORD01. Oh, I know why it wouldn't let us. Because I didn't put the file in there. Let's try it again. SimBrief, we'll download this flight plan. And see if we can overwrite the existing one. Alright, now let's try it again. RKSI KORD01. Invalid entry. Okay. We'll put it in here. Okay, and I'll just make sure that we have a continuous flight plan here. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to activate route number 2. Okay. Now we need to go ahead and recalculate our performance stuff. So our new visual field weight is going to be 397.5. 397.5. Our new reserves. So let's bring up the new flight plan here. Oops. New flight plan. Make sure it's the same departure. It should be. Yep. Okay. And then okay, that looks good. Our final reserve is going to be 15.7 now. 15.7. Okay, thrust limit, let's recalculate that. Flaps 5, takeoff 38. So we're going to go with 38 now, which should give us a little more thrust. Yep. Flaps 5. Our new CG is 24. New V speeds are in. Alright, there you go, guys. Now we're reconfigured. Okay. So that's all good. New cruising initial altitude is going to be 330. Let's make sure we put that in here. And cost index is going to be 38. So oh, nope. One thing we need to put in right now before we get much further is our step climbs. So we got a step climb at OFET. Okay, I gotta find it now. Okay. OFET. So we're going to go ahead and do a step climb to 350 there. And then we have another step climb at 55 north, 140 west. 55 north, 140 west. So that's going to be 370. And then another step climb at 48 north, 100 west. That'll take us up to 390. This was off by flight plan. And then you get the step climbs right here. Oop. All right. It's all done. Okay, altimeters. 1020. Hey, auto brakes. RTO. Wixer. Lower MFD stat. APU. APU gen. And I'm gonna go ahead and set up my desk. All right, crew. Departure briefing. Let's go ahead and press on with this. So we are currently... Oh, I got to get my noticeable steering tiller closer. Okay, we're at Seoul Incheon. Over here at the Passenger Terminal 1. We're going to push with the tail facing to the northeast and a quick taxi 34 right via... we'll come out here, left on Mike 7, right on Sierra. Depart on the Egobi 2Y departure. Okay, we need to cross YD04 at 4,000, 7,000, 10. You can see the numbers on there. 13, and it's filed. Alright, let's do it.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, doors and windows. Okay.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Okay, Jen.
Turn pitch to 200 in your next frequency.
Okay, hydraulic pumps, fuel pumps, temp controls, recirc fan, trim air, isolation valves, APU bleed, engine. Parking brake is set, wheel chocks, and age. Beacon light. A cars. We'll turn on smart cars. That will be our flight tracking for this flight. Okay, she's on.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
No, no. Right there.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Okay, nobody's here right now. Just some guy way back there. He's no factor. Alright, let's get going.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Seoul Incheon traffic, good afternoon. United 892, push to start. Gate 21, Terminal 1. Tail facing northeast. Alright crew, starting engine 2. Okay, got good rotation. Fuel's coming on, number 2. Okay, good start.
Third return for processing release from
Okay, good start on 2, starting 1. Rotation. Oil pressure. Fuel. Okay, here's ignition. Okay, rollback. Alright, good start on engine number 1. Okay, start checklist. APU off. Taxi checklist. Flaps. Set for takeoff. Flaps 5. Stab trim. 6.25. Takeoff data. V1 151. Rotate 159. V2 166 on the PFD. Takeoff thrust setting 99.2 and 1. Transponders on. We'll leave the taxi light and runway turn-off lights off for now. Flight controls, ailerons left, ailerons right, elevator up, elevator down.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Rudder left, rudder right. Flight controls are checked.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
All right, we'll see you later. Incheon traffic. United 892 Heavy, taxi to runway 34 right via Romeo Mike Sierra. Alright crew, let's go. Okay, brakes checked. Noticeable steering. Checked. Departure briefing. No updates. Saw that Asiana plane taxiing over there. Let's see if we can beat him. I think we can get out in front of him. That's A38. I really don't want to be waiting behind him. It's a wing turbulence disaster right there. Yep, we're gonna beat him. And then we're gonna make a left turn up here. Second one. Cut him off. He's taking a different taxi route anyway. We'll take full length. Okay, before takeoff checklist. Lower MFD off. Recall's good. VNAV, LNAV set. Exterior lights. Takeoff clearance is good. Incheon traffic. United 892 departing runway 34 right.
Three, 4, right. On runway 3, right.
Pretty sure it's 3-4 right, but hey, who's checking? Alright, crew, clip the takeoff. Start the clock. Let's go. Hey, stabilize. Set takeoff first. Thrust set. Airspeed's alive. Hold.
V1.
Surf, LNAV, VNAV speed. Okay, speed checks, flaps 1. Speed checks, flaps up. Climb it through 6,000. Okay. Autopilot. On. At the takeoff checklist. Fine, let's get these. Okay, landing gear up. Flaps up. Recall. Exterior lights. Okay. And transition out 2 should be 14,000 here. Yep. There's Seoul Incheon out for the left window. See you later. Korea. It's funny how we do this big old loop around this airport, huh? We took off on this runway right here. We departed from that gate right there. Now we're flying over it again. Well, that doesn't look good. Our fuel estimate's low. I'm going to show you how we're going to fix this. It's thinking we're only going to land with 7,000 pounds, but it should be more than that. Okay, transition out 2. Have to take out checklist is complete. Alright, now we're cruising. Now we have a few minutes to kill. What I want to start doing is adding in some winds aloft data into our flight plan in just a few different places, because otherwise this could take hours to do it. They haven't integrated the wind data in here yet. But here's what I'd like to do. So we have our flight plan, right? And it's got a lot of this wind data in it. So let's use it. We're gonna put it in a few different places, right? So let's do the top of climb, which should be basically pilot. So we're gonna start putting in wind data and temperature data. I'll have it on the right, but I'll show you how to do it on the left. So I'm just gonna put it in a few different places because the flight plan is pretty smart, and the FMC can extrapolate. So we're gonna do 330, and we're gonna do wind 296 at 94, 296 at 94. And then 330, and the temperature is minus 46. Now, as we update this, watch this this fuel calculation over here. It's gonna change as we put different stuff in here. Okay. So now I'm gonna also do the step climb. So Plato, we'll do Plato. 239 at 102. And the temperature here is going to be minus 45 again. It's kind of cool, but kind of warm. And then we'll do the next step climb fix. Which should be ANN. And then that's going to be 241 at 27. And that temperature will be minus 50. And then the next step climb, 390, we at welcome. And this should be enough data points for us to do our flight. And that's going to be 351 at 72. The temperature up here is going to be minus 55. Okay. And now that should give us a little bit more accurate prediction of our landing fuel at Chicago. Now, to do this properly, I would need to fill this in dozens of times and change it for each fix. This data is available on SimBrief, but the 777 does not have the integration yet, so that I can't automatically download the winds aloft. Real aircraft can do this, and a lot of other ones can. PMDG can. The Tolis A320 series can download the winds aloft out of SimBrief, but this thing cannot yet. That's a feature that's planned to be added later on, but it's just not in there yet. So what I do is I just add in a few data points just to give the FMC a chance to try to figure something out and help it out. But if you don't do it, it's probably not the end of the world, especially because it's not really that complete. So I don't have the time or patience to do it like that. Right now we got a pretty decent tailwind here. And our estimate for K-Ord is 1357 07 Zulu, or 07 local time for California tomorrow. And then it's estimated top climate at 0207. Let's see how close that's going to get us. I don't think that's accurate. Actually, we probably could just cleared it out this way, huh? Okay, so we're on Route 2, but what I'd like to do sometimes when I'm in the mood is what we can do here, in case we have to divert, right? We know what our divert is. It's going to be, as in like divert from Chicago, right? Our alternate's going to be Indianapolis, so what we can do is we can put in that route right here. In case we need to divert, we can go to Route 2 or Route 1 and activate it and be able to get to Indianapolis quickly. So let's go ahead and do that. Normally you would do this on the ground, but I want it to take off and not sit there all day. So we're going to do it in the air. Earned, Eleanor. Okay, I'll just do it again. Actually got it wrong. Yay. Arrival 23 right. I'm just putting this in just for fun at this point. Probably racing would work. So there we go. We got a whole flight plan from Chicago to Indianapolis if we need to divert. It's all set up. Okay, 3,000 feet to go. Things climbing nice and slow today. All right, crew, 1,000 to go. Got some more tailwind coming in on us right now. and we are leveled up at 330. That was a fun departure. It took us 27 minutes from brakes release to flight level 330 to get up here. Sounds about right. But yeah, I got a long flight to go. We've got many hours to move. But we will get to Chicago here around 7 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow morning. Hope you enjoyed this little thing I've run through my process here. I'm going to go ahead and get some chow. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.